The receiver for some defunct microfinance and savings and loans institutions says some depositors are yet to receive their payment due to delays in submitting claims. There have been questions about the number of depositors that have been paid by the receiver. Spokesperson for the receiver, Philomena Kujo, says work on their validation has progressed steadily and they will be paid as soon as validation of their claim is done.
I want to explain that before the deadline for submission of claims, we had received about 370,000 claims, approximately. And so for those claims, they met the deadline of 18th October 2019. When we talk about the percentages that we've paid 98% of those claims, those who met the deadline. After the deadline, we have received about 120,000 claims, thereabouts. But when I say claims, I hope you understand, one individual can have about 3 or 4 claims. So these are not individuals, but claims. So that is what we've done so far. About 98% of the claims that were submitted before the deadline.
So these claims that came after the deadline, what is delaying? Why up to now they've not been able to get there?
Okay, the claims that came after the deadline, of course you have to secure funding for that, to pay them, which I think they have. And then we need also to validate their claims, which we've done most of them. I think we are more than halfway through with their validation. And so when we finish clearing this 2%, we will start with those ones.
And when are we likely to finish with this 2%?
Executive Secretary of the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Company, Chinibwako Duabuachi, joins me on the phone lines for a quick reaction to what the spokesperson for the receiver has been saying. Good afternoon, sir, and grateful for your time. Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, grateful for your time this afternoon. Looks like there is a lot of challenges with this payment process. What exactly do you know?
Okay, good afternoon to your viewers this afternoon. Previously, we were not very sure of how many claims that have been validated and paid until the receiver actually mentioned that they've done more than 96%. And following that, after last week, we had an engagement with the receiver to actually understand the whole situation. And just as the spokesperson mentioned, that the claims that were submitted before the timeline given, or within the timeline given, they said that they have processed all those and transferred to CBG for payment. And you will realize that there are some clients who also say that they submitted their claims way back during the timelines that were given. And so if they have not received it, then what's the problem? A little investigation we have done independently actually suggests that, yes, it's possible the receiver has sent those that they have validated for payment to CBG, but the clients have not received the text message and the account numbers, which actually shows that they are supposed to receive or go for their money. Another thing that also supports our claim is that clients are supposed to receive the cash component, then followed by the bond component. We realize that some clients have received text messages for bond component, and they have not received any cash. And the process is that you cannot be given bond if the cash components have not been received. So, which actually tells us that there may be some systemic challenges with CBG and also with the receivers. Our recommendation actually is that the receiver and CBG especially should look at how they can thrash out all those challenges. Because if clients have not received text messages or the account numbers, then the clients may see it as a bit of a challenge. The receiver actually promised us that he was going to follow up and actually ensure that all those that they stay in their system have processed for payment and all those things.
All right. Let me ask you, do we know the actual numbers of clients that have been paid so far, not in percentage terms?
You mean how many customers?
Yes, the 96% that is being said by the receiver, the actual number, not in percentage terms.
No, we don't have that figure. In any case, it's the receiver that received all those accounts. And you see, the difference is that this particular process, a customer may have 3 or 4 different accounts with a particular institution, and the receiver deals with them as accounts. So if you have 4 accounts, you will receive 4 different payments, unlike the one under the microfinance own, which they lumped it and dealt with customers. And so these are some of the things that we believe that CBG, in communicating with clients or those things, we need to have a detailed discussion on that. And our outfit is ready to ensure that everybody who was saving with the savings and loans companies, just as the government absorbed that of the commercial bank, we believe that all customers of savings and loans and microfinance companies should also be supported in one way or the other, just as they have promised with the bond and all those things. All
right, quickly before you go, I mean, the receiver says that 96% of validated claims have been paid so far. The president said 98%, whatever the figure is. Is it fair for them to say that, place a figure actually, or a percentage on the number of people when we don't know the actual figures?
You can't criticize somebody if you don't have a contrary figure. Right. And so we will not be able to say it's fair or not fair, but what we will encourage all the parties is that let's all work together for the betterment of the country and the client.
I'm grateful for your time this afternoon for speaking to us. Still on the banking sector, Exim Bank says it is optimistic